The Seattle Sounders were back on the practice pitch today, Amas Vida Maraire, after their 1-1 tie with FC Dallas. And after looking at the film, Brian Schmetzer said, yeah, there's some things that the team has to improve. He really was not happy about the goal. He said that was a team breakdown. Everyone, when you look at it, it looks like it's the back line, but he actually went into detail in terms of, you know what, no, the breakdown happened up top from the midfielders to the back line, and obviously, you know, to the header, the exquisite header by Bernard, but there was nothing that Fry could do about it. Overall, Brian is a man kind of trying to figure out which of the lineups is best, because all the different players bring in kind of different qualities. Specifically, right, Leo Chu is really good going down the wing, but when he's crossing the ball, there's just not enough people in the box. That's what's been an issue with the Sounders. You know, it looks like they've solved it, then they don't. Christian Roldan, the return was awesome because he was able to push defenders, so you had some momentum on the right side, and then you had, you know, Leo Chu on the other side, but in the middle, it was lacking in terms of the final third. That is nothing new, and that is frustrating Brian Schmetzer, and here's what he had to say.
On the right shoulder. Touch the right shoulder. Get them ready. Be right. Follow Andy. Left side. Left side. Come in. Rounds up. Read on you two. Stop. Ball. Stop. Ball. Shoulder.
That's my book. It's all I had in there. It's a great. Have you seen that book?
I have that book.
It's all I had in there.
Brian, question.
I mean, we are just knocking it out of the park, man.
Last 5 minutes of the half, or maybe I would say 10, did you go to a 4-4-2 and then there?
We always defend 4-4-2.
And before that, I would say you also playing a 3-back.
In our attacking movements, it's 3-2.
Right. And they were pushed up.
They had pushed us back, yeah.
So did that maybe cause complacency in the goal for them to give them enough room to score that goal, or?
The goal was a complete breakdown, team defensively. Mm-hmm. If you watch the start of the sequence, Yamar clips a long ball. He's trying to hit Leo Chu. He mishits it, goes to the goalkeeper. Could have kept possession, closed the game out. Okay, they get it. And if you watch that whole sequence, number one, there was one positive in that sequence. Goalkeeper gets the ball, he chucks it out to the right.
Right.
And Raul Ruiz chases back all the way to midfield. He stops, but he chases all the way back, which I give him some credit for. And then everybody recovers and we get set. We always try and defend 4-4-2 once we're organized, and we start to step out. And we start to, apply pressure when it's the right moment. We didn't. We were very passive in that moment. That's why it looks bad. We let them play. Okay, we're defending the goal. Okay, fine. The ball gets into the player that Jackson was marking. Leo Chu's got to tuck in. That's his job. Albert, a little bit of awareness, but he sneaks the ball in. Jackson goes tight. The other three defenders, and we work on this constantly. When one of the center backs steps, you compress. Didn't do it. The ball, they keep possession. Ball comes here. Then Yaimar anticipates a pass, which he should have been back here, but he anticipates it, so makes his position even worse. So our two center backs are about this far apart and 10 yards higher up the field. And gives a clear lane for the player to go through. And then he gets the ball. JP can't cover all the ground. Chu's got to come back and make that pass difficult, to make it go negative. Chu's got to get back. JP's got to press. Doesn't happen, and they score a goal, which they're going to say was great play. Credit to them. Good sustained possession, but for us, it wasn't a good goal to give up.
Thanks. Looking back at the tape on the offensive end, you obviously generated a lot, but is it just simply about the finishing, ball not going in?
Sorry, I started off with kind of a negative. The attacking stuff was a positive. You asked me some good questions after the game. I thought about them a little bit. I thought our attacking movements work. They were good. We just don't have anybody putting the ball in the back of the net. The only thing we discussed and what we worked on today was timing and options of the movement when we get the ball into prime assist zone on both sides. The lineup choices, some of the lineup choices you saw was, Jordan and Alex on the right-hand side are very good. Leo Chu's very good over here. Christian gets on the end of things over here. Clinked it off the post, plus the own goal because Christian gets in. We need Raul, Christian, Albert, Nico, whoever it is. But on the opposite side of the field, when Alex and Jordan are there, we need someone coming from here. That's what we're working with Mr. Chu. Jordan Morris almost scores that header because of that exact sequence. Jordan's better coming from here, attacking the goal. So we're in a conundrum because Chu's great and he's done a lot of good things. We need a complete, system.
Sounds like a numbers then. The numbers game getting
Well,
numbers
we're
in
just
there.
working with each player on how they can be better to help the team win. And then, when we choose the lineup, then they understand where they need to be.
Speaking of sort of those lineup decisions, where do you fall in terms of weighing the benefits and costs of moving, like getting Leo on the field, but keeping Morris up top, and or putting Jordan on the left and Raul up top, and how do you go about balancing that, and what are you looking at to determine the?
We're trying to find the right formula right now. Your other question about my substitution patterns, we took a little bit of a risk. We reflected on that again as coaches this morning. We took a little bit of risk at San Jose. We thought it was a game that we might be able to steal some points. And so we didn't rotate heavy. Normally the conservative approach, or most guys will rotate midweek, come back strong. And that came back to bite us a little bit. I think maybe a little bit more freshness, although Roger had the day off. But Guymar 3 games a week, new heavy legs, defenders, maybe that takes its toll a little bit. But I think when we settle on a final roster, it might come down to a couple different things. Who's in form and who's not. Maybe there's away from home and at home. Look, Raul's been a killer. He's been a killer at home. Actually, he's been a killer away from home too. But maybe if you're going to drop defensively, defend a little deeper, and have Jordan and Chu and Christian in transition moments, maybe that's the right tactic for away games. Maybe at home you're gonna, you bring Nico and Albert and JP and all the guys that keep possession, extend possessions higher up the field. Chu breaking guys down 1v1. It might come to that, Jeremiah. It might be we just do things based on where we're at and who we're playing against.
On a similar note, you've had JP and Obed start together in the double pivot, I think 7 straight games now. Obed played 270 minutes this last week.
Yeah.
What are you seeing there, and what are you needing to see from other people to get into that rotation?
Well, the kid, I think, in my opinion, has done great. Him and JP have been a good pair to start. Could I have taken some legs off the kid? Could I have subbed him out? We were talking about bringing him out, bringing Montero on, moving Nico a line back. We talked about that. I think the kid has the engines. Number one, he's young. He covers a lot of ground. He's fit. Can he be a little bit better? Can he give us a little bit more final product? Yes, but sometimes we need some youthful energy. Maybe it was Josh and JP. Maybe Josh hasn't, been a great sub. Sometimes, some games, it takes him a while to get into it. I think he's a better starter. There will be some rotation in that position because I'm not settled there. We could go back to Albert, JP, experienced guys. Look, the money guys have to step up. The guys that are making money, the experienced guys, they gotta do the business. So it's still still a work in progress.
When you say you
When you say
need,
that you need more time than he does to step up, does he not play as well with Leo? Like he seems sometimes like he might be not as fast as not able to keep as pace with him as well as Jordan does, or as far as the asset.
When I say the money guys, what I told the team, and it's kind of a, it's a sports term, the money guys have to step up in the playoffs. You hear it in basketball and hockey, other sports, what I mean by that is all the money guys. They're all getting paid. So I need Obed to give me a little bit more. I need Nico. I need Jordan. I need Chu to make one more better decision per game. I need him to defend. I mean, it's everybody. I mean, Raul, you can see that Raul wants to score. I mean, he's almost to a point where it's like, he's driving him nuts. He didn't like the fact that he had to be modified today at training. He wants to stay out there and practice his craft. So they all want to play. We just need to, get the first one to go in. Albert, one-on-one chance, another chance to play Obed in, and he picks Chu. I mean, we need some goals out of that position. I mean, someone needs to break the ice.
Kind of talking about chance creation. Did you have a chance to look at the tape for set pieces from the Dallas game? You were talking about that a little bit. If you had any comments.
Yeah. Well, Jackson had a really good header off a second ball off a set piece. I think towards the end of the game, when you get like a bunch of, set pieces at the end of the game and it's desperation time, I think sometimes your schemes go out of whack. The one play where we had Leo Chu come around the corner almost worked, which was very good. Something that Andy practiced on the field. So we're getting closer.
How do you feel having Jordan and Christian back on the team?
It's great. Very big parts of the squad.
How do you think they make an impact when they're on the pitch?
Well, they're both tremendous soccer players. Jordan needs to go back to scoring goals. He scored a bunch of goals early in the year. I know he's itching to score. Christian, you saw his attacking stuff for sure, but some of his defending, his reading of the play, when he presses, how he presses, both critical pieces.
Is there anything that they bring to the team that might have been lacking when they were absent with the national team?
I'm not sure if I follow the question. I mean, they're good players, but then, we had other good players playing while they were gone. It's just they're different. How Nico plays that position, how Jordan sometimes plays on the right, how Albert's played on the right. We had Dylan Tevis starting a couple games on the right is different than Christian. I think Reed's had a good thing. We had Cody out there right back. Who plays different when he plays in the middle versus left back, where we had him at 4-2-3-1. So, I mean, we have a good squad.
Brian, could you have used more crosses from your wingbacks to diversify your offense? A couple times, Alex, I don't want to call him plays, but a couple times.
You don't want to. I mean, Tafari's 6'4",
right?
And the other kid is like 6'3" and a monster, and Raul's 5'9" and about $150. So no, the ball on the floor and behind, no crosses, no balls up. The ball that Christian hits to Jordan, yes, because a lot of times the outside backs on teams are smaller guys.
Right.
The two center backs, you got to be very careful where you're putting the ball.
I guess into space and a little bit more into space for Raul to run onto.
Christian missed the pass in the second half. He was behind. He tried to flip it over.
Yeah.
It goes to the goalkeeper. I mean, there's certain plays where Raul's in a good position and we don't find him. So.
Leagues Cup is an opportunity for a fresh start, I suppose. Are you looking at it that way, and are you, I don't know, do you look at it as a way to try new things, or is it just you want to try to do things you've been doing in the regular season?
We're going to try and get the team right for Leagues Cup, which will bleed into the last 10 games. So we're out to, our mantra, we try and win every competition. We're not going to experiment. We're going to try and tinker and get the lineup right. Those lineup decisions aren't just going to be in the 2 plus however many games. They're going to go through the remainder of the year until we find the right
All right, a little B-roll for you, and that you heard from Brian Schmetzer just talk about, the strategy the team is going to use when it comes to this League Cup tournament that they will start on Saturday, against FC Dallas. And look, when you're struggling a little bit on the offense and kind of overall, you need games. Doesn't matter what you want to call them. Brian says, look, we're going to use this tournament to get right, because the team has to get right, because after the League Cup, Sounders only have 10 more MLS games to get it all right, regular season, and then you've got the postseason. So, this tournament is get right. Teams got to learn, get back to scoring ways. So, Jordan Morris is off on the All-Star break, and he'll meet he'll meet up with the team. I don't know how much he'll play, but on Saturday, but that remains to be determined. From Starfire Sports Complex, I'm Osvita Mara here for the CascadiaSports.net report.